Okay, follow-up review of this Spyderco Manix 2 DLT exclusive, the 20cv version. Let's focus a little bit. It is now mid-April or so. I've got this knife back in late December, January, somewhere in there. Carried it pretty much every day since then. Used it. This along with my the SOCOM I got this beforehand. So these are kind of like my two new knives. So they got alternated. That one honestly got carried a little bit more, but this got used plenty. And I took a bunch of classes this winter, so I was on the road as usual. Those classes generally took this one, and they're fire classes, so you can have a knife. And then one of them I did have my AFO with me, Benchmade AFO. But this one was the one that I carried the most. I've been out here kind of in one of my favorite spots. It's my mountain bike vacation that I do with some friends that we now geographically are spread out as usual. So you make new friends. But these guys are out this neck of the woods, so I'm out enjoying a little time with them. And I just went out for kind of a training run hike, about 25 pounds, mostly just water jugs, 2 8-gallon water jugs, and then a couple other quarts just to kind of, and with the pack weight, kind of try to make 25 pounds, then I run. So I brought these guys with me. I have this military, and then kind of a comparison with Griptilian. And then my SOCOM. But anyway, on this guy, so I've been out here for a week, every night around the campfire, bust this thing out, do a little whittling. Basically just sharpening sticks and such. I've made a couple spears. Around here it's just Ponderosa. God, I don't know what it's going to look like with the sun, but all we have out here is this kind of scrubland Ponderosa. There's juniper out here, which is no good really. And then there is a river nearby, and it's a little too cold to be jumping it because it comes right out of the Cascades, but it's goddamn hot today. I feel like going jumping in it. So, and there's willows and some, I don't know, aspen type cottonwood trees down there. I should get some of that and bring it up, whittle on that a little bit. But anyway, I have gotten a chance to whittle with this a little bit, which is pretty much how I judge a knife. How it cuts, slices wood, how it is for carving, how it is for just plain old whittling. I love this blade. This blade, I did attempt to make a spoon last night. It turned out crappy. I did use it. I'm not very good at those sorts of things. But I do like this blade for that, actually. Now, the handle itself, I don't think is a very good handle for that kind of work. It's not really uncomfortable. I got kind of bony hands. They're not sensitive by any means, but for whatever reason, this one knife, this and the Benchmade Contigo are the only knives that ever bothered me. This one does. It kind of just hits me wrong. And then as far as like whittling wood, like a draw cut, if you're sharpening a point of a stick or something for a spear, these two peaks kind of get in the way. It just feels awkward and uncomfortable. All right. So I'm just saying that because this military is actually great for that. It's just the paramilitary 2, the para 3, this thing, no, I got no issues with it. I think it's just, for me, these peaks for that kind of work just don't work for me. And then for whatever reason, the back, like just doing regular old power cuts or whatever, for whatever reason, my hand, that's it. I know it's great. It's a great knife, but for me personally, it doesn't work. It's kind of like the same size as that Benchmade. Now, this works great for that, okay? I think it's more comfortable handle for that kind of work, but enough of that. Get back to this. I really like this knife. As far as like an everyday carry knife, a work knife, whatnot, tactical duty, like if you're a cop or whatever, self-defense, I should say. I think it's awesome. I think it'd be great for that. I mean, really good positive grip, really locks your hand in multiple grips. So I think that must be what this knife is designed for. And then the blade itself is great for whittling wood. I really like it for that. It's just a handle for me, for whatever reason. Not too comfortable. I really like that lock still. Actually, it's kind of like my favorite. It's kind of like my favorite lock these days. I don't know if you can really see down in there, but you can see the cutouts at least. But that mechanism with the spring, that stop plate, and the ball bearing, I just really like it. I like it's a little stiffer than an Axis lock. Some people don't like it because of that, I think, but I actually don't mind it at all. It just feels real even. There's no loose. It's not loose and floppy. It's nice and positive all the way down, and then it's got a really, rock solid detent. I don't know. As far as like that kind of thing goes, I really like this knife. I like the G10. I don't know if it's a little bit more aggressive than like a paramilitary 2 or a para 3 or a military. It's about the same. I've had this one for longer, used it more, so maybe it's smoothed out a little bit. It's still pretty grippy though, and great knife. Yeah, so I figured I'd do a follow-up. Personally, I really like this. I know that they have the lightweight, like the plastic FRN. I'm not sure really what they call their plastic FRN model, but this one, sub 5 ounces, I think, somewhere between 4.5 and 5 ounces, as I recall. It's not. I don't find it to be an issue at all. It feels then a plastic handle, just to me, very rigid, very stiff. I really like it. Feels like a brand new knife to me. Still really smooth. I use it a lot. Cut up a lot of potatoes this winter with it. Some steak. Usually, like if I was cooking, it was just me, I would definitely bust these out. They use this for like vegetables and such. And then this was my steak knife. And I had a pretty sweet barbecue this winter, so I was able to do a lot of steak. And this one actually cut up a lot of that. Great slicer for that, for a steak. I'm sure most knives would work for that, but I happen to like it a lot. Yeah, I think my only real complaint is the grip. I think might be a tad bit aggressive. Maybe I just get used to how it works. It's kind of the first tip blade shape like this that I've had. Usually, and that is a piercer too. That is a very aggressive. They call it a leaf, I guess, but I'd say that's a straight up symmetrical spear point. I mean, it is a piercer. I just noticed that like when I cut up a pizza one night. I'm used to using a knife such as this. It's got that kind of that standard belly upsweep, and or maybe more of an angle, get away with it. This, you do that, and I mean, it's like right to the cutting board. You have to kind of cock it back a little bit. It's a little bit more aggressive. Just something I noticed. Not a complaint. Not a negative by any means. So yeah. Well, that's pretty much all I got. Really like it. I'm going to do a review on that SOCOM here at some point. Maybe in the next week or so. Yeah. All right. Well, have a good day. Thanks for watching.